Hello and welcome to my virtual presentation. I'm Dr. Kibet from the Center for Open Distance and E-Learning, Machakos University. This video is meant for practicing and aspiring teachers, and kindly subscribe to receive notifications whenever I post a video. You can also like or even share this video to your friends. Let's now begin. The topic of my presentation today is lesson planning for ECDE in Kenya. That is for early childhood education and development in Kenya. A lesson plan is the instructor's roadmap for what students need to learn and how it will be done effectively during the class time. It's a plan in a teacher's daily guide. It's a teacher's daily guide for what students need to learn and how it will be taught and how learning will be measured. We can also say that it's an outline showing systematic steps or stages to be followed by the teacher when teaching any given learning content. Before you plan or before teachers plan a lesson, first they need to identify the learning objectives for the class meeting. A lesson plan consists of a theme, which is the topic, sub-themes or subtopics, the time frame, whether it's a day and time lesson is to be taught, the age group or the class, the lesson objectives, teachers and children's activities, teaching materials and resources, as well as remarks column. What is the importance of lesson planning? Lesson planning helps in identifying any impending challenges that must be overcome to ensure success of the lesson. During lesson planning, identification of the necessary teaching resources needed are met or put in place. Lesson planning helps in managing teaching time well and in coming up with appropriate motivational and relevant teaching modes for use when teaching. It helps teachers to advise parents of young children and the community in providing any extra help required to improve children's performance. A lesson plan helps create a logical sequence for the lesson. It also forms a record of what has been taught. And finally, it is a working document. Before teachers for early years education lesson plan, they need to know about the key inquiry questions, KIQs. This is an approach where the teacher uses questions to broaden learners' thinking, to allow them to create information using their own words and understanding. This helps to focus the learning, probe for deeper meaning, and set the stage for further questioning, foster the development of critical thinking skills and higher order capabilities such as problem solving. It also allows learners to explore ideas in an open-ended, non-judgmental, meaningful, and purposeful way. It also encourages collaboration among learners, teachers, and the community, and integrates technology to support the learning process. Before teachers lesson plan, they also need to know about what we call pertinent and contemporary issues, PCIs. These are global citizenship, which encompasses peace education, integrity, ethnic and racial relations, social cohesion, patriotism and good governance, child rights, and child care and protection. Health education, HIV and AIDS education, alcohol and drug abuse prevention, lifestyle diseases, personal hygiene, common communicable and chronic diseases. The other pertinent and contemporary issue is the life skills and values education, life skill, core values, and human sexuality. Education for sustainable development, ESD, which are environmental education, disaster risk reduction, safety and security education, small arms, human trafficking, financial literacy, poverty eradication, countering terrorism, extreme violence and radicalization, gender issues, and animal welfare education. Learner support programs, which includes guidance services, career guidance, counseling services, peer education, mentorship, learning to live together, clubs and societies, sports and games. And finally, community service learning, parental empowerment and engagement, which includes service learning and community involvement, and parental empowerment and engagement, and citizenship. At the same time, before a preschool or early years education teacher lesson plans, he needs to know about what we call core competencies, which are communication and cooperation, critical thinking and problem solving, imagination and creativity, citizenship, learning to learn, self-efficacy, and digital literacy. They also need to know about values, which is love, responsibility, respect, unity, peace, patriotism, and integrity. Now, let's look at the format of a lesson plan. And this is for Machakos University. We have what we call preliminary information, which is the name of the student and the registration number, the school and the grade, the subject, the term, the week, the lesson, if it is lesson 1, 2, and 3, the date and the time, the roll, that is the number of children in class. We have what we call the strand, the topic, the substrand, the subtopic, and then we have the specific learning outcomes, list 1 or 2. And then now you link your lesson plan to the key inquiry questions that we have just talked about, the core competencies that we have just talked about, links to values that we have just talked about, and then the link to PCI, pertinent and contemporary issues that we have just discussed. And then this other part is the time, the columns. They have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns where you indicate the time, the content, the learning activities, and the resource materials. And the next one shows how you need to divide your lesson plan. This is the introduction, lesson development, and the conclusion. And depending on how you are going to carry out your lesson, and depending on your topic and the subtopics within the lesson, you can have 5 minutes. You can see this is 5 minutes, 20 minutes, and this is 5 minutes. This is the introduction. You can introduce the lesson for 5 minutes. You can have the lesson development for 20 minutes. If you have, depending on the topic, you can have 2 subtopics, 2 steps. This is step 1. You can be teaching a different subtopic. Step 2, a different subtopic, and then you conclude your lesson in 5 minutes. And then you have what we call self-evaluation. You have self-evaluation here. That is the format of the lesson plan in early years education, particularly for the trainers of Machakos University. Now, we have also what we call reflections, extension, and self-evaluation. And reflection means field, and this is field after teaching. How was the lesson? How was the learner's participation? Extension. This is used to cater for individual differences, slow learners and fast learners. Until you also have to indicate the activities for the fast learners if you had given them. Then final self-evaluation, where you evaluate yourself. This is the evidence of achievement of objectives, whether they were well taught, and it is filled after the lesson. So that marks the end of my preparation for lesson planning for early years education in Kenya. If you like my video, kindly subscribe to enable notifications whenever I post a new video. You can also like or even share to your friends. Thank you very much, and may God bless you.